Hey you guys, it's Amy from A Red Spatula. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to talk about how to turn whole grains into whole grain flours. I'm going to show you how to grind grains. I grew up doing this all through my childhood, so it's second nature to me, but if this is new to you and you feel intimidated by it, let me tell you that it is going to be so much easier than you could possibly imagine. So check it out. All right, so I use the Nutrimill Harvest grain mill. I think this is a really great starter mill and very easy to use, and there's quite a few things to love. The first is it's pretty. It's an eco-friendly bamboo covering on it, but also it has a 450 watt motor and it uses corundum stones. Now you can see that it loads on the top. I just took off the lid, and then I'm going to put in my grains right here. I'm using white wheat this time, which I'll show you in just a second. Now you can see that this little knob in the center, mine's red. It'll change depending on the color of your mill. That adjusts for coarseness. And then here's the grains that I'm using. Now I'll create a whole other video about what grains you can grind in this, but just know that almost any grains you can grind. So you put them in through the top, and then this is what it looks like on the side. And you can see within a matter of seconds, you already have freshly ground flour. I'm going to give you a couple closer views. Now, I will say my area is a little bit dry here, so we have a little bit of static, and that's why it's sticking to the side of the mill just a touch, but that's not a big deal. I like to grind mine on fine almost all the time. You can see right here as I run my fingers through it. Now, I will also talk about adjusting the coarseness on your mill, which is a whole other topic, but this is what it looks like finished. Within seconds, your flour is done. Okay, the last thing that I want to note is that I realize a grain mill is a substantial investment for most families and most incomes. But I do feel like it's an investment worth making. Not only do you have the ability to grind healthy flours at home, but you also have the ability to grind them whenever you want. If you remember during pandemic, of course, when the shelves were empty and there was no flour, those of us with grain mills who store grains didn't have that concern. Because the cool thing about grains is that when they're stored in proper conditions, they will hold for 20 or even 30 years. So imagine that. Buy the 50 pounds of flour, store it well, and it's good to go. So if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment sections, and I will be happy to respond. And also don't forget to click and subscribe.